Hello class 8, I am Hemlata Verma and I welcome you all in today's session of history. In this video, we will study about the social and religious reform movements which took place in India in the 19th century. In this video, we will identify the social religious practices that existed in Indian society in the 19th century. We will also discuss the importance of social reform movements during the 19th and 20th century, raising awareness among prevalent social practices. We will discuss the effort of the reformers to deal with issues such as caste system, child marriage, sati pratha, etc. We will analyze the impact of the reform movement on the Indian society and we will appreciate the role of the social reformers. Indian society in the 19th century was caught in the web created by religious superstitions. All religions in general and Hinduism in particular had become suspicious. The rituals like animal sacrifice and physical torture has replaced the worship of God. Social conditions of people were equally depressing. The most distressing was the position of women. The birth of a girl was unwelcomed. Her marriage was a burden and her widowhood was inauspicious. Another important factor was caste. There was social division according to the caste system. The low caste people were treated very badly by the upper caste. The condition of women at the beginning of the 19th century was miserable. They did not get equal treatment. They were denied education. Female infanticide, child marriage, dowry system, sati, torture. The movements of reforms regarding women addressed all these issues. The evil practices that denoted the Indian society were religious intolerance, caste system and superstitious practices. In 19th century, India was facing many problems in the fields of social and religious aspects. Women were exploited and suppressed in the society. India was affected by many social evils like child marriage, female infanticide, polygamy, sati pratha, prohibition of widow remarriage, etc. Social reform movements. Social reform movement is a type of social movement that aims in the betterment and development of society. Certain social and political changes brought in society for betterments through collective action and generally called social reform movement. So, the purpose of the social reform movement was to purify and recover the society. Now first let us understand about some of the evil practices prevailing in the society at that time. Let us understand about the sati pratha prevailing in the society at that time. The sati was a historical evil practice among Hindus in the northern part of the country in which a widow sacrificed herself by burning herself in her husband's funeral pyre. According to the ancient Hindu custom, sati symbolized a voluntary act of being a dutiful wife. A woman followed her husband to the afterlife. It was therefore considered to be a greatest form of devotion of a wife towards her dead husband. With time, Sati Pratha became a forced practice. Women who did not wish to die was forced to do so in different ways. Traditionally, a widow was considered a burden on the society, and so she was pressurized to accept sati. Now let us understand what is polygamy. Polygamy is a practice or custom of having more than one wife at the same time. Polygamy was practiced since ancient India, where the rulers and emperors had more than one wife. The practice continued till the 18th and 19th century, which later on led to exploitation and miserable conditions of women in India. Child marriage is a marriage of a child, especially a girl child, at a very young age. Child marriage violated children's rights and placed them at a high risk of violence, exploitation, and abuse. Female infanticide is a deliberate killing of a newborn female children. Poverty, dowry system, famine, lack of support services were the major cause of female infanticide in India. Prohibition of widow remarriage. The condition of women was very miserable in the society. Hindu women in the 19th century were married off at very young age and often become widow at a very less age. Widow remarriage was restricted at that time. The widow lived alone and in poverty after the death of her husband. The treatment they get was extremely inhuman. Widow remarriage as a tradition was never allowed in the Hindu society. The impact of the Western culture on India led to a great awakening in India. Many social reformers came forward and advocated changes in society and reform in Hindu religion. The leaders of the reform movement toured different regions of the country to spread their views. That means they moved in all the parts of India and they shared their view to the people. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar, Swami Dayanand, Ramakrishna Paramhans, Swami Vivekanand are among the reformers who tried to reform Hindu society. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was the chief reformer among the Muslims. There were reform movements amongst the Sikhs also. These movements began in the second half of the 19th century and played a major role in modernizing India. The reforms in the 19th century had many dimensions. They were against the social and religious evils existing in the society. It was against the colonial culture. It advocated to accept good of the Western population and reject the bad ones. And also it worked for the revival of the old and true culture of India. It fought against all the evils of the society. The reform movement in the 19th century first took place in the Hindus. It took place in the Hindu society first. The main reformers were Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar, Henry Vivien Desrosiers, Ramkishan Paramhans, Swami Vivekanand, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, and many more. Next, it took place in the Muslims, second in Muslims, and the main reformer was Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. The social religious reform movement then came in the Sikh society, and the main reformers were the Singh Sabha and the Akali movement. They were the major movements in the Sikh society. Then after that, it took place in the Parsis, and the main reformers were Dadabhai Naroji, W.B. Wacha, and Naroji Furdunji. Raja Ram Mohan Roy is considered as a pioneer among the social reformers of India. That means he was the first person to start the social reform in India. A number of books and journals published by him spread his ideas. He was born in an orthodox family in Bengal. The orthodox means the followers of traditional rules or beliefs of religion. His knowledge of many Indian and European language made him well versed in both Oriental and Western learning and made him a deep thinker. He studied the religious scriptures of Islam and Christianity and believed in the oneness of God. He condemned rituals and caste-based discrimination. He wanted traditional Indian teaching to coexist with English language and Western education. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was convinced that India could progress only through learning of Western science, which taught a rational and scientific approach instead of blind belief in the teaching of the priest. He founded the Brahma Samaj in 1828 in order to purify and reform Hinduism. He published a Bengali translation of Vedas and principles of Upanishads to give the people knowledge of their religion. Because the Vedas and Upanishads were originally written in Sanskrit, so people were unable to read and understand it. So he translated them in Bengali so that the people of Bengal can read and understand it. His religious beliefs was based on Vedas and Upanishads. He opposed idol worship, caste system, and preached worship in one God. He was a supporter of Western education and started his own school in Calcutta. He helped David Hare in opening a Hindu college at Calcutta, which later became the Presidency College. In 1825, he founded the Vedanta College for the teaching of Western and as well as Indian learning. He fought against the evil customs of sati, and it was due to his effort that Lord William Bentinck banned sati in 1829. He was a strong champion of women's rights and was against child marriage and polygamy. He advocated widow remarriage and demanded that women must be given the right to inheritance. Thus we see that Raja Ram Mohan Roy persuaded the government to abolish sati and child marriage. He stood for the equal rights for women and the right for property to women. He was an internationalist and supported cause of freedom everywhere, and his Samaj, that means the Brahmo Samaj, was the first attempt to reform Hindu society. Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar was a great advocate of women's rights and worked all his life for improving his status in India, for improving the status of women in India. He was greatly interested in the education of women. He founded the Hindu Balika Vidyalaya at Kolkata. He helped Bethune to set up one of the first school of girls in Calcutta in 1849 called the Bethune School. John Eliot Drinkwater Bethune was an educator and mathematician, and he is known for his contribution in promoting women's education in India. He also led a campaign against child marriage and polygamy. It was due to the efforts of Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar that the government passed a Widow Remarriage Act in 1856, drafted by Lord Dalhousie, the Governor General. As the principal of Sanskrit College in Calcutta, Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar encouraged lower caste to join his college. He introduced the study of Western education and thoughts in his college. Vidyasagar made remarkable contribution to for the education of girls and the upliftment of women. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was a great educator, humanist and social reformer. He was born in 1820 in the village in Medinapur in Bengal. He firmly believed that reform in Indian society could only come about through education. Vidyasagar founded many schools for girls. He protested against child marriage and favored widow remarriage, which was legalized by Widow Remarriage Act in 1856. Henry Vivien Durosio was an Anglo-Indian who started a Young Bengal movement in 1826. He joined the Hindu College of Calcutta as a teacher. He was then only 17 years old. Through his Young Bengal, his students supported women's education and believed in the ideas of French Revolution, that is, liberty, fraternity and equality. His followers were called Derosians. The Derosians opposed caste system and other social evils. Derosio advocated the freedom of speech and expression. Though Derosio was dismissed from the college for his liberal ideas, the work started by him was continued by his students. Derosio died at the age of 22. Ramakrishna, a priest and saint, was a socio-religious reformer. He taught respect for all religions. He believed all religions were just different paths to reach one goal, that is, salvation or realization of God. His holy life, simplicity and wisdom inspired all those who gathered around him. He believed that service to humanity was the best form of worship. His most famous disciple was Nath Datta, who was later became famous as Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was a great disciple of Ramakrishna Paramhansa. Narendranath Datta was the original name of Swami Vivekananda, has studied Indian and Western philosophies. Deeply disturbed by the poverty and the sufferings of the people, he wanted to reawaken the people of India. He wanted them to be fearless, self-confident and self-reliant. He emphasized character building and patriotism and laid great stress on action. Swami Vivekanand represented Hinduism at the World Parliament of Religion held at Chicago in 1893 and made a great impact. He revived the image of spiritual India. He founded the Ramakrishna Mission in 1896. The mission started school, colleges, hospitals, orphanage to survive the common people. He preached unity and oneness of all religion. Vivekanand asked people to cultivate the spirit of liberty, equality and free thinking. Now we will study about Annie Besant. The Theosophical Society was founded in 1882 in New York by Colonel H.S. Olcott. They came to India later and set up its headquarters at Adyar near Madras in 1886. The works of this society was carried on in India by the Irish lady called Annie Besant. The Theosophical Society under Annie Besant wanted to revive the ancient religions of Hinduism, Buddhism, etc. and also preached the brotherhood of man. She translated the Bhagavad Gita into English. This reveals her belief in the superiority of Hindu culture. She preached against child marriage, caste hatred, polygamy, etc. She is in favor of national system of education. She led the foundation of the Central Hindu High School at Banaras, which grew into Banaras Hindu University in the later years. Thus, we see that Annie Besant worked for the revival of Hinduism, its philosophy and mode of worship. She helped impart Indians a sense of pride in their own country. She founded the Central Hindu College in Banaras, which is now known as Banaras Hindu Universities, and she also translated the Bhagavad Gita into English, which reveals her belief in the superiority of Hindu culture. Jyotiba Phule was from Maharashtra and he founded the Satya Sodhak Samaj in 1873. Jyotiba and his wife started a school for girls at Pune. He also opened many schools for girls for lower classes. He and his wife started a school for girls in Pune. He was against the domination of Brahmins and worked for the upliftment of lower castes. He was given the name of Mahatma for his good works. Thus, we see that Jyotiba Phule worked for the upliftment of the women and the lower caste people. His renovations were in the spheres of education, caste system, agriculture, social position of women, etc. And he was the founder of Satya Sodhak Samaj in 1873. Mahadev Govind Ranade and Ramakrishna Bhandarkar founded the Pratna Samaj in 1867 in Bombay, now in Mumbai. They advocated the worship of Supreme God and condemned the rigidity of the caste system and domination of the priest. The Samaj worked for improving the status of women. It opposed child marriage, practice of untouchability, and advocated widow remarriage. The Samaj opened night classes to educate laborers, the orphans, and schools for girls. The Pratna Samaj was founded in 1867 in Bombay by Dr. Atmaram Pandurkar. It was an offshoot of Brahma Samaj. It was a reform movement within Hinduism and concentrated on social reforms like interdining, intermarriage, widow remarriage, and uplift of women and depressed classes. Justice Mahadev Govind Rande and Ramkrishan Bhandarkar joined it in 1870 and diffused new strength to it. Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Now let us study about his religious reforms first. Swami Dayanand Saraswati was one of the greatest religious and social reformers of the 19th century. He founded the Arya Samaj in 1875. He opposed idol worship, caste system, and religious creeds. His slogan was "Back to the Vedas," as he believed the Vedas contain the truth of science as well as truth of religion. He advocated the superiority of Vedas and thus created a feeling of self-confidence, self-respect, and national pride. He started a movement known as Shuddhi, that means purification, in which he reconverted those Hindus who had been converted to other religions. He preached directly to the masses in simple language which they could understand. Swami Dayanand was the first reformer who talked about Swaraj and aroused patriotism among the Indians. He had complete faith in the Vedas. He did not speak against Western education but laid greater emphasis on the study of Sanskrit and the Vedas. Swami Dayanand preached social equality. He opened the door of the Arya Samaj to Shudras and also other depressed class. He opposed child marriage and the Parda system. The Arya Samaj opened many schools and colleges for boys and girls. They were known as the DAV, that is Dayanand Anglo-Vedic schools. The influence of Dayanand and the Arya Samaj in promotion of education, upliftment of women, weakening of the caste system is greater than any other reform movement in India. So, we can see that the Arya Samaj was founded at Mumbai in 1875. Swami Dayanand Saraswati was a scholar, a patriot, a social reformer and a revivalist. His motto was "Back to the Vedas." He was against idol worship, child marriage and caste system based on birth, and he started the Shuddhi movement to bring back those Hindus who had converted to other religion in its fold. When the rest of the society was going through the major and important changes, the Muslim community was still under the clutch of backwardness. The man who did his best to reform the Muslim society and bring change in their social and political outlook was Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. The British government conferred the title of Sir on him. He wanted to raise the status of women in the society. He advocated the reformal of the Parda and spread the education amongst women. He also condemned the custom of polygamy and easy divorce. The Aligarh movement was started by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan for the social and educational advancement of the Muslims in India. He fought against the medieval backwardness and advocated the rational approach towards the religion. In 1866, he started the Mohammedan Educational Conference as a general forum for spreading liberal ideas amongst the Muslims. In 1875, he founded the Modern School at Aligarh to promote English education amongst the Muslims.